When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful.
During his Twitter show, Tucker Carlson discussed an interesting topic. Something mysterious is happening in Antarctica, the southernmost point on Earth. Antarctica is a continent that tends to be overlooked, with its icy snow and few human inhabitants. However, it's unexpectedly become the focus of a political move by a strong opponent of the United States. China, a global powerhouse, has made a significant move by establishing a new base in this icy wilderness. Surprisingly, this outpost rivals the scale and the sophistication of the United States' own operations in the polar region. The implications of this development are far-reaching and they're significant. Even more concerning is the potential for this base to act as a spying platform, capable of intercepting confidential conversations between such nations as Australia and New Zealand. The situation goes beyond mere espionage. It's escalating into a different dimension. It's as if China and the United States have entered a secret fortress where they're engaged in a silent but intense economic war. This battle is subtly shaping the global order. Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State and current contributor to Fox News, has expressed his view succinctly. He believes that while China may not be interested in a full-fledged military conflict with the U.S., President Biden should remain cautious of China's economic strategies. China further solidifies its presence in Antarctica by planning to construct its fifth research station in the region. The Center for Strategic and International Studies, a respected think tank, has explored the dual-purpose nature of this establishment. While it could ostensibly aid in tracking and communicating with China's growing fleet of scientific polar observation satellites, it could also serve a more malicious purpose. The advanced equipment could potentially intercept satellite communications from other nations, posing a threat to national security. Satellite imagery released by the CSIS in January 2023 shows the construction area in question. The pictures reveal the development of a helicopter landing area, temporary structures, and the beginnings of a large research station spanning 53,820 square feet. Adding to the complexity of international intrigue, the FBI has reported that China, along with Iran, is using unconventional tactics to target American critics. This situation paints a bleak picture, with high stakes in this polar power play. The satellite images, dated back January 2, 2023, clearly demonstrate the intention of China's latest venture on Inexpressible Island in Antarctica. However, China's ambitions extend beyond this. The report suggests that they have grand plans to expand their geopolitical presence not only in the South Pole but also in the North Pole. These plans include ambitious expeditions and the establishment of cutting-edge research facilities at both poles. It's evident that the silent, snowy plains of Antarctica are no longer just home to penguins and seals. They have become a theater for critical and secretive confrontations between global powers, a captivating development that has the potential to reshape the world order. China's presence in Antarctica holds strategic advantages, as highlighted by the Center for Strategic and International Studies. By establishing a base in this region, China can gather valuable information about its geopolitical rivals, particularly countries allied with the United States, such as Australia and New Zealand. Let's go back to February 9, 2020, near the Great Wall Station in Antarctica, where an ordinary day turned extraordinary. Chinese Antarctic explorers were unloading supplies from their massive, impressive polar icebreaker, the Zhuilong 2, or Snow Dragon 2. This vessel played a crucial role in China's 36th Antarctic expedition. After a period of silence since 2018, the Center for Strategic and International Studies recently unveiled satellite images of the construction site. In a report published in January, they aim to shed light on the new developments taking place there. The images reveal the construction of a helicopter pad, temporary structures, and the beginnings of a massive 53,820 square foot research station, along with supporting facilities. These developments raise intriguing questions about China's motives in Antarctica and the potential implications for global dynamics. The frozen landscapes of Antarctica have become a stage for a geopolitical dance that captures our curiosity and invites further exploration. One could interpret signals from rocket launches and collect telemetry data from the newly constructed space facilities in Australia and New Zealand. These seemingly innocent stations could potentially provide China with an edge in gathering information about these countries. However, the narrative's not one-sided. Beijing denies these assertions, as reported by The Independent. The Chinese government maintains that their Antarctic stations are solely dedicated to scientific endeavors, aimed at expanding human knowledge and understanding our planet. As the plot thickens, we shift our focus over to Beijing, where a businessman finds himself entangled in espionage charges. He's been lured into spying for China, driven by the allure of quick financial gain. The outcome of this case remains uncertain. It's an ongoing mystery, I guess, to put it clearly. Let's rewind to December 1st, 2018, when the Chinese research icebreaker Zhuilong anchored near the Zhongshan station in Antarctica. Zhuilong carried a crew of dedicated researchers, embarked on China's 35th Antarctic expedition from Shanghai on November 2nd. Pictures from Xinhua/Liu shipping vividly depict these events, highlighting China's growing presence in the Antarctic. China's involvement with Antarctica dates back to 1985, when they established their first research station, the Great Wall Station. Since then, China has progressively solidified its presence in this remote, icy landscape. The Great Wall Station has grown and evolved, and facilities like the Zhongshan Station have expanded significantly. This steady growth reflects China's broader political ambitions, according to recent reports. China was excluded from joining the Antarctic Treaty in 1981 due to perceived insufficient scientific research on Antarctica. However, China's persistence has led to efforts aimed at expanding their role in Antarctic research, resulting in a significant scientific presence on the icy continent. The main building of the Zhongshan Station, the Chinese Antarctic Research Base, stands tall amidst the icy expanse. Over the past 3 decades, the Zhongshan Station has transformed into a state-of-the-art scientific town. The Chinese expedition team sees great potential of the station, even suggesting that it could serve as a logistical hub for aircraft with fixed wings. All of these efforts indicate a long-term vision. When the clause of treaty regarding resource extractions is up for renegotiation in 2048, China's extensive Antarctic research might position them as a crucial stakeholder in shaping the continent's future. The Antarctic Treaty of 1959 established that the continent can only be utilized for peaceful purposes. It permits military personnel to conduct scientific research, but strictly prohibits the establishment of bases, military maneuvers, or weapon testing. Given these developments, the question arises: how should the United States respond to the growing influence of the Chinese Communist Party abroad? That's a critical issue that's more relevant now than ever. China poses a unique threat, unlike any that we've encountered before. While the Soviet Union and Russia primarily focused on military and ideological influence, China's impact extends through the arteries of the global economy. China is accused of stealing approximately $500 billion worth of intellectual property, raising the stakes in the competition for national security and technology. Recognizing this danger, it is clear that telecommunications, satellites, AI, and quantum computing are crucial for our country's safety. Smart investments in these areas are necessary to stay ahead of the competition. Encouragingly, recent developments indicate that we're beginning to prioritize these investments in a nonpartisan manner. To revive the semiconductor industry and address concerns about Huawei's involvement in our telecom networks, the CHIPS bill was passed. The bill aims to strengthen the industry. Tucker Carlson is working on introducing a new bill that emphasizes the importance of a well-planned approach to handling foreign technology entering the United States. Its goal is to provide the ability to ban or prevent such technology when it's deemed necessary for our security. As we delve into the discussion about the impact of the popular social media app TikTok, it's crucial to appreciate its profound influence over a vast audience. With an estimated 100 million Americans spending an average of 90 minutes per day on TikTok, it's become an integral part of their lives. The app cultivates the public with entertaining videos, DIYs, trending dances, and more. However, concerns have been raised about security data and potential propaganda hidden beneath the surfaces of viral dance trends and cute pet videos. Despite the enjoyable content, TikTok allegedly collects data from its American users without proper protection. The possibility that the platform could be exploited for propaganda adds another layer of concern. Hidden messages supporting political causes can be found in TikTok posts while scrolling through the feed. Although they may not be immediately apparent, this is something to be wary of. For example, TikTok content for kids in China heavily focuses on science and technology education. Whereas in America, it's primarily entertainment-oriented. This raises questions about the curation of content and its implications for us. Shifting our focus to global politics and power dynamics, particularly China's involvement in Putin's invasion of Ukraine, we enter a complex and bewildering narrative. It's perplexing to hear colleagues express disinterest in Ukraine, but show concern when it comes to China. This perspective overlooks the interconnectedness of authoritarian regimes, such as China and Russia. The dictatorial administrations of Putin and Xi Jinping are linked in more ways than meets the eye, and their respective ambitions in Ukraine and the Taiwan Strait are worrisome. Putin's actions in Ukraine and Xi's territorial aspirations and the Taiwan Strait should not be viewed in isolation, but rather as pieces of a broader geopolitical puzzle. These concerns emphasize the importance of preventing both Putin and Xi from achieving their territorial and political goals. In an intriguing interview, R. Shannon Bream from Fox Sunday News engages Senator Mark Warner, the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Their conversation begins with a discussion about an upcoming global security assessment hearing involving the DNI and the head of the CIA. Senator Warner has long been vocal about the escalating threat from China, and Bream questions about whether the United States has wasted valuable time by failing to accurately assess this danger. Senator Warner believes that the notion of integrating China into the global order, hoping that its people would change, was a misguided assumption. He highlights that in 2016, China passed laws making it clear that the Chinese businesses must prioritize the Communist Party of China above all else. This political move demonstrates how China has transformed into a formidable opponent, unlike anything we've seen before. See, unlike the Soviet Union and Russia, which focused on military and ideological influence, China appears to prioritize economics. This economic competition has resulted in the alleged theft of approximately $500 billion worth of intellectual property. The rivalry has expanded beyond national security to areas like technology, where crucial aspects such as telecommunications, satellites, AI, and quantum computing play a significant role in our national security. Senator Warner calls for substantial investments in these areas to maintain America's competitive edge. He believes that a nonpartisan approach is being taken to address these concerns. Citing recent moves in this direction, he mentions the passing of the CHIPS bill to revitalize the semiconductor industry, and the exclusion of Huawei from American telecom networks. Tucker Carlson, known for his critical analysis of global affairs, raises concerns about foreign technology and its potential impact on national security. During a discussion, TikTok becomes a topic of concern, and Carlson questions whether the platform poses risks like data theft and the spread of propaganda. The conversation then shifts to the origin of COVID-19. Carlson mentions that suggestions, initially dismissed as conspiracy theories, have emerged that the virus might accidentally have leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Recent developments have brought more attention to this possibility, leading to calls for the declassification of related information. Amidst uncertainty about whether the president would veto a bill aimed at sharing this information, Carlson emphasizes the public's right to access such data. Concerns are raised about the uncooperative stance of the Chinese Communist Party, highlighting the importance of transparency, the importance of international cooperation to prevent future pandemics. Through this thought-provoking dialogue, it becomes evident that navigating the complexities of global politics, cybersecurity, technology, and health crises requires careful consideration. It requires strategic planning and collaboration. These discussions will continue to shape policy decisions and influence global relations, ultimately impacting the lives of individuals, a sentiment Tucker Carlson often highlights on his show. The situation at hand is grave, as accusations of wrongdoing are met with uncooperative responses. When pointing fingers at those responsible, no assistance can be expected. Now, the financial implications are immense, with damages and losses amounting to billions, if not trillions of dollars, and human lives numbering in the tens of millions. The task of making payments for these massive sums remains a mystery. In times like these, international cooperation becomes crucial, and actions must have consequences. It's perplexing why some colleagues express disinterest in Ukraine only to show concern when it comes to China. If China were to support Russia in Ukraine, there should be repercussions. Sanctions could be from one potential form of consequence. The interconnection of authoritarian regimes in China and Russia necessitates our efforts to thwart Putin's advances in Ukraine and halt Xi's expansion in the Taiwan Strait. Even if China isn't directly supplying ammunition to Russia, it is widely known that they purchase significant quantities of Russian oil. Additionally, they send items with multiple uses, including potential military applications. Presently, Xi seems unfazed by these warnings issued by the United States. They haven't acknowledged the fact that their balloon crossed U.S. airspace, likely gathering crucial data along the way. Nor have they offered an apology. Are they intimidated by the U.S. government? Do our cautionary measures hold any weight? The Biden administration said that they were keeping an eye on the balloon when it entered U.S. airspace over Alaska on January 28th. The balloon reached an area near Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana within the next 4 days, where the U.S. stores some of its nuclear weapons. After the media reported the story on February 2nd, the administration confirmed the Chinese spy balloon's existence and revealed that they'd been monitoring it for several days. China apparently hurried the balloon's movement to get it out of the American airspace as quickly as it could after news about it spread. On February 4th, the United States shot down the balloon off the coast of South Carolina. The U.S. government explained why they waited till the balloon was over the ocean before taking it down to avoid harming civilians and causing damage to property. If they had shot it down while it was still above land, there would have been a huge risk of large fields of debris falling due to the balloon's enormous size. It's essentially the size of 3 school buses. After the balloon was shot down, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin released a statement. He said that the U.S. military commanders had determined that shooting down the balloon while it was over land would have put a wide area at risk because of its large size, high altitude, and surveillance equipment. The Chinese president, much like Putin, anticipated that the West would surrender after the invasion of Ukraine. Germany, for instance, has significantly increased its military spending, while we haven't followed suit, despite Angela Merkel's recent visit. It's worth noting that countries like Finland and Sweden actively seek NATO membership. The Chinese president is likely closely observing the Western response to Putin's actions. Recently, India didn't vote in favor of a resolution condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine and demanding an end to the conflict at the United Nations. Given India's crucial position, it becomes essential for them to choose a side and align with the West. India has emerged as a global powerhouse, boasting the world's 5th largest economy and making remarkable progress. It's acknowledged that India has historical ties to Russia, and it relies on them for a significant portion of their military equipment. However, if India wishes to be regarded as a credible global leader and a force for good, they gotta pick a side. The younger generation in India seems to grasp this idea, and with the support of the older generation, significant accomplishments can be achieved. Turning our attention to ongoing aid for Ukraine, plans are underway to provide an additional $400 million in aid. However, questions have been raised, and more requests are expected from Congress in the coming weeks. While support for Ukraine remains high, surveys indicate a decreasing interest in the West and the United States. An expert suggests that the Ukrainian government has not faced the difficult task of making bureaucratic trade-offs to prioritize funding and maintain financial stability. Negotiations of some sort are inevitable as competing demands strain our resources. The question arises, how should we prioritize these demands? It's crucial to note that we've already allocated a significant sum of $113 billion in aid to Ukraine, with less than half of that amount coming from us. The military assistance alone accounts for approximately $30 billion. However, we still have ample resources available. Honoring our commitments is essential. The Ukrainian military has shown remarkable progress against the Russian forces. So over the years, we've had to spend nearly $800 billion every year on defense to safeguard against Russian exploitation. Recently, we started entrusting this responsibility to the Ukrainians. Therefore, it's crucial to move forward. Despite some people disagreeing, many members of Congress believe that it's crucial for Putin to fail in order to keep up with Russia and China. But when we think about the threat from China, we gotta understand that relying on only military power is not enough to protect our country. We also need to focus on improving things like communication technology, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and advanced biology. By investing in these areas, we can strengthen our economy. We can make our nation safer. Carlson often emphasizes the importance of prioritizing national security and staying competitive with other nations, especially Russia and China. He highlights the need to invest in advanced technologies and innovative fields that help maintain our position as a global power. By doing so, Carlson believes that we can enhance our economic growth while ensuring safety in an ever-changing world. Do you happen to agree with Tucker Carlson's perspective, which emphasizes prioritizing these areas to strengthen our economy, to ensure our safety? Hit that like button and consider subscribing to stay informed and continue uncovering the truth.